We see this look from time to time from the Knights. Third down, St. Clair deep drop back. He's going deep down the field. The pass is caught. Wide open 40, 30. It's Buck Studwell. 15, 10, 5 touchdown. New York. They're going to hand it off to H. Shaw. He got the first down. A championship is coming to New York.
23 seconds, 22 seconds. What are they going to do here? 4 yards from the end zone. Dunhill going to throw again. Dunhill out to Hollywood. BDG Hollywood touchdown! Oh my. The Atlanta Swarm. How about it? Your champions, Georgia. 27-10 over Sioux Falls. Your Atlanta Swarm are title winners.
To the right, that's Carr. 2 down from the end. Handoff, Sandlin. Boy, he almost got hit the backfield, and Sandlin breaks it through for a touchdown for Seattle. What a run from Sandlin. He was dead to rights in the backfield and made something out of nothing.
They're going to go 5 wide for Wigmore. Wigmore steps up, hit as he threw. Pass is intercepted at the 50 with room to return. It's Albert Begin again. 35-30. Albert Begin. 20, 10. Touchdown, Lone Star. Ivory Arvin not fast enough this time, and the Glory right back in it.
Second and 10 from the 38. Marconi back to pass against another blitz. Marconi's going to avoid a sack. Throw a ball deep down the field. The pass is caught. What a throw! What a throw! Touchdown! Minneapolis to Almiron Sabu. Oh my goodness! A slow motion replay here. You've got to be kidding me. SFL is going to bring out the trophy, and Minneapolis is going to get to celebrate for the fans that came down. Receivers, 3 to the right side. Tallahassee needs a stop. They haven't gotten one here in the third. And Cochran's going to the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. And Alaska has 9 points here in the third quarter. That's all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to the Alaska Storm. They are your Season 11 SFL champions.
How about E.J. DeCue, Patrick Kelly, and Sean Crooked on that line. Great protection for Jackson. Now Moses is running over people, as are the rest of the Scorpions, and they bite him for a touchdown.
This Matt Wilson's pass is caught for a touchdown. What a throw to Dijon Swan. The Mexico City Aztecs, headlined by team owner Ramos Lin, gets their first SFL championship, a 38-24 victory over Chicago.
Ninth. Wigmore now 10 of 13, 76 yards, 14th pass of the day. Wigmore fires it outside, it's intercepted! John Barnhart, touchdown! Sioux Falls, he does it again for the Sparrows in the postseason!
Showing a blitz on the outside, it's Queen City. Everyone stays home. Darnell Black runs past everybody, picks up a block. Darnell Black in the open field. 40, 35, 30. Being chased by Shine. He won't catch him. And the Hyenas have cut it to 7.
Mama, there goes that man.
Stats all-star crew for a terrific start so far. Third down and 9 to start the second quarter. Ivory Irvin's over the top, and it's a touchdown for Baltimore.
Jark Tarkington has a chance to win it.
Oh my goodness. For all of that, and Tarkington gives Baltimore their 3rd straight title. Oh my goodness.
Well, McChesney gonna get a carry. Oh, there goes McChesney. One man to beat, he breaks it. Jaron McChesney down the sideline. Francis trying to catch him. Not today, young fella. Touchdown, Denver. They're right back in it. Down to 15 seconds left. Zuli back to pass. He's going to Corky. It is caught. And he brings it down. Touchdown, DC.
Greg Corky is
They gotta pull out something miraculous here.
DC can't let him get behind him. They got to keep everything in front of him here. This is the ball game. Daniel Garcia back to pass. He's going to throw it deep to the middle. The pass is caught, and the tackle is made. And the DC Dragons have won the championship by a miracle on Zach Zuli's throw to Greg Corky. And I let the fellas give me a breath.
The kickoff to the 20th season of the Simulation Football League continues on a Saturday evening in Sin City. It's been a couple of seasons since either of these two squads have made the playoffs, and they're hoping to get their 20th season of the SFL off to a solid start. And good evening, everybody, and welcome to Silver State Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada, alongside producer extraordinaire Cameron Irvine, our statisticians Justin Reside and Ron Haynes with Top Kiefer in Juan, Mississippi, and my broadcast partner Chris Curtis. I'm Tim Hackett. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music live on YouTube. Chris, welcome to the show. Great to be here with you, sir. 20th season of the SFL and a really intriguing matchup to get things started.
Likewise, my friend. Absolutely. Good one coming and brewing between Queen City and Las Vegas, where there's a lot of question marks coming in for really both of these teams starting off this season. Las Vegas changing at the guard at the quarterback position and a couple of position changes along their lines. And then Queen City bringing in a youthful exuberance from numerous draft picks in this offseason draft.
It's really a brand new looking Queen City team. We'll get into it, but you're looking at a couple of the changes right there. No O.J. Bruin, last season's starting quarterback, took over for the veteran A.J. Caswell, so third quarterback in 3 seasons for Queen City. We'll get our first look at him making his SFL debut. We'll tell you about him in a minute. But for Vegas, like you said, Chris, I mean, they've just been kind of mired in it the last couple of seasons. What can they do, do you think, to snap out of this trend that they've been stuck in?
They need to. Their goal is to take a step forward, and I think making the changes that they have could be the stepping stones to do that. You bring in an Eric Price from across enemy lines in the Vice Wars rivalry, and maybe that's the step that's necessary, along with some other things going on the roster.
One of the biggest under-the-radar storylines in the offseason, I think, that one that Chris just mentioned. We'll talk about it in a second. The 20th season of the Simulation Football League underway here tonight from Las Vegas. Queen City will get the ball first on the road. You see them in the white tops. Vegas countering with their home all black. So for the third time in the last 3 seasons, Queen City needs a quarterback. A.J. Caswell was the gunslinger here for about a dozen seasons. He retires before last season. They bring in O.J. Bruin after 2 seasons in Portland. It only goes so well. He's now on to greener pastures in Jacksonville, so enter John Lakeman, rookie second-round pick, spent 1 season in the SFL minor leagues, and now he's here in the bigs. His first play is a give to the veteran tailback, Jet Zero, and he gets a gain of about 4.
And that's going to be the goal for Jet Zero, is to take some pressure off of his young quarterback. Jet Zero's been in this league since season 14. He was drafted as a fullback originally and came in as a halfback a couple seasons later. Whatever the case is, that being the case, the situation for Jet Zero is pretty straightforward on his job description.
Rare that he's the less veteran of the two in the backfield, but that is the case for him here. He will get the toss from Lakeman. His first pass as a pro is behind the line of scrimmage, and it results in a loss. Zero gets decked, and all the yardage that he picked up on first down goes by the wayside.
And not sure if a quicker decision is the right way to go there for Lakeman. He gets it over to Zero, but Zero's got nowhere to go as he's got 3 Fury members bearing down on him right away.
Queen City was not good on third downs last season. They were the worst third down offense in the SFL. Third down and 11 for Lakeman. What a throw! Welcome to the SFL, John Lakeman. Hits Doug Spelling streaking down the left seam. So much for being bad on third down. Their first opportunity of season 20, and it's a conversion.
And they take a shot on third down as well. They don't just go for the sticks. They go for a nice shot over the top to kind of keep the secondary for the Fury moving back a little bit and trying to adjust to the arm of this quarterback.
Gain of 25 for Doug Spelling, who has become this team's #1 wide receiver. A toss to Jet Zero. We see this occasionally, Chris, and it works for a gain of maybe 2.
I like the design of that particular toss. Lakeman moves out of the pocket, moves towards the running back Jet Zero as he's already running in the path of where he wants to go, able to hit him on the toss play to actually lead him in the correct direction instead of having to make him avoid tackles to get a couple of yards.
Very hit or miss play here in the SFL, and that time neither really hit nor miss. Lakeman will throw it out to Zero. Doesn't catch too many balls, but does here. Nice tackle, a yard short of the sticks. On the hit is Justin Reside. His 3rd season here with Vegas, one of the GMs on part of the ownership group for Vegas as well. This is a good stop and another third down coming up for Queen City.
Yeah, 1 yard to get on another set on this one, a second down. There's going to be a shot here for them to get into field goal range should they convert.
Converted 3rd and 11. What can they do on 3rd and 1? It's a run to Zero. Zero has the first down. Leading the way is Edward Lowe, the guard, and just barely getting enough as Zero to move the sticks again.
Would like to see Jet Zero in this season make a step forward as a running back. He needs to be able to try to break at least some of these first tackle attempts to be able to get into the second level. That's something that's plagued him. Yards after contact, not one of his strong suits.
Struggled last season after a couple of really good seasons in a row. Lakeman over the middle, and another catch for Doug Spelling. Chris, you know this franchise very well. Deezer Powell was brought in to be the number 1 wide receiver, the successor to Stephen Hacker when he left to create Fort Worth. But over the last couple of years, Doug Spelling has been that guy, and he's been tremendous for Queen City.
He has. He stepped up when they needed to, and that's not to take anything away from Deezer Powell, who's had a great couple seasons in his own right. But having a nice 1-2 punch in the wide receiver spots is a big bonus to an offense that desperately needs to take some shots downfield at times.
Speaking of big, that was a huge hit on Zero behind the line by A.K. Jones, one of the veterans on this defensive line for Vegas, his 6th season in the league.
Yeah, good work there. Sets up a 3rd and medium at the very least, something Queen City can convert here.
Middling start on the ground for Zero. Flags fly. Lakeman going to take a shot down the right sideline, and it's caught for a touchdown. If it stands, the first in the pro career of John Lakeman, and it goes to the veteran Deezer Powell.
That is ideal. I want to see where this goes. I think it's an offside, and it is, so it will be a touchdown. But that's the kind of Queen City that they want to be. They want to be able to fire them cannon shots over the top of the secondary. And Vegas on this drive, not happy with how their secondary is burned over the top on both of these plays. This is something to watch out for. Good work from Lakeman. Congrats to him on his first touchdown pass, and Deezer Powell, his first of the 20th regular season.
Offside against Harley Stone, non-roster defensive ends, and John Lakeman in his first professional drive burns Las Vegas down the right sideline. Yet another touchdown for Deezer Powell. Mentioned former standout before he came here to Queen City. Maybe he can find a new secondary role alongside what appears to be Doug Spelling's starring role. Point after is good. Another change for Queen City this year. No Judah Dorgan, so it's Joe Garfield. Another rookie, 2nd round pick, taking just 2 spots behind John Lakeman. So Lakeman and Garfield, picks 52 and picks 54 in the most recent draft, combined for 7 points for Queen City.
Yeah, that will make the Corsair faithful very, very happy. 4-time chance trying to reload and get themselves ready to go. A lot of people talking about a rebuild this season in Buffalo, and they don't want to hear the word rebuild, I'm sure. They want to more hear the word retool as we have the kick return here.
Doug Britton figures to be in a much more prominent role for Vegas this season. It was a short kick from Garfield, and Britton will bring them out to the 32. So a lot of change for Queen City and change at the most important position you would think for Vegas as well. Joseph Green, the quarterback here for the last 3 seasons, he moves on in the offseason. Enter Eric Price, who was the starting quarterback for 3 seasons for Vegas's arch rival, the Denver Nightwings. They pick him up in the offseason to be their new signal caller. They've seen him a lot, and now Price, his first game in a Vegas uniform, and a nice throw and catch down the left sideline. Doug Britton, we just talked about him, Chris. Maybe a bigger role for him this year, first down.
As a number 1 in this Vegas roster, takes over the spot of John Blades, who's moved to tight end. So he added some beef, did Blades, and he'll be doing some blocking as well as some receiving. But that's a good start for Britton. Returning kicks and catching balls like that, he would love to see him get over the top of this very young Queen City secondary.
What do you make of that move? John Blades has been the number 1 wide receiver here for a long time. He and Mason Kirby are about as good of a 1-2 punch as it gets. I want to get your thoughts as we go along in this drive. He's now their number 1 tight end. First carry of the season for Scott Johnson. He cuts around a couple, picks up 5. Greg Gaines on the stop.
And talking about the running backs real quick, too, you got to talk about not only Scott Johnson, but the other running back in this backfield is Hubba Kimbrell, and see where the 1-2 punch seems like the duo of running backs seems to be the play in a lot of rosters over the SFL. Vegas trying their hand as well.
Kimbrel, and definitely a new look in his career as well. He's got 2 career carries. They will run it here on second down. I believe it's Johnson again. These numbers can be hard to get quickly, so we'll get it to you as soon as we can. I believe that was Kimbrel, actually. Good call by you, Chris. The former tight end, the former fullback, now a running back in the offense this year for Vegas, and he loses 2 on his first carry.
Trying to find a skill position that works for him, and why not try running back at this point? If he's able to break some tackles and get in the open field, and he'll find a spot.
Tight end for Queen City earlier in his career, now playing against his former team. First third down of the season for Eric Price. Has all day, throws short, and the pass is caught short of the sticks. A quick hit by Nano Matthews, one of those rookie corners that we talked about, and he stops Dennis Charney short of the sticks.
Yeah, the non-contract wide receiver, the backup wide receiver, Charney, not able to quite get there, and now they're setting up for a potential 4th down go.
Now they've brought the offense back out. They will snap it. No messing about. Price into traffic and intercepted. They go for it on 4th and short. They try to go deep, and Todd Rigsby, one of those rookies for Queen City, has an interception on his first defensive series.
That is, I believe, a rookie first interception for him in his SFL career, and that's Price taking a shot when not really necessary. I think they could have gone multiple different ways with the play selection there to get the 1 yard needed. They were not in a position where they needed to take a gamble. They did, and paid for it dearly. Now Queen City has the ball in the lead.
Rigsby, a starter as a 2nd-round pick at free safety. Queen City lost all 3 of their safeties on their roster from last season. Greg Gaines was one of them. He converted a corner, so nobody who started at safety last year is back. And Zero with a big run on Queen City's second possession. He gets decked by Max Jackson.
Yeah, Max Jackson, the number 2 safety in all time in interceptions, with I believe 58, if my number in my head is correct. That being said, he can come up and lay the wood when necessary when he sees a run, so look out for him.
One of the best in the league and in league history. Max Jackson at the strong safety position. Gain of 6 for 0. They will run it on the ground. First carry as for Tiberius Bovine. Welcome back stateside. Spent the last couple of seasons with Vegas. Now back playing for Queen City as a fullback, a well-traveled guy.
Yeah, Bovine has been in many different places throughout the league. He's played a few different positions as well. Tight end and in a fullback spot here. So he will be a nice complement to Jet Zero speeding style.
This is the 20th season of the SFL, 18th season for Bovine. They'll run it on 3rd and short. Zero has the first down and then gets smacked for his troubles. But another first down pickup for Queen City. That's Jackson on the hit again.
Yeah, he's going to come through. He's going to read Jackson, or Jackson's going to read Zero in his routes on the run into the 2nd level all day long if they let him. But he does get enough for the first here. And Jet Zero looking like a heavy workload for him.
I mentioned Queen City was terrible on 3rd downs last season, worst in the league, but the Vegas defense was also not good against 3rd downs. They struggled in a lot of capacities, to be frank. A big hole for Zero. He'll streak up the middle and get inside the 45-yard line. What is this Queen City offense? They're on fire.
Yeah, and really, I think it has more to do with what Vegas isn't doing. They are letting the running attack for Queen City go right down the middle into the 2nd and sometimes 3rd levels. This is not confidence building as far as the defensive play for Vegas. You need to find something on the coaching staff to get this fixed up and in a hurry, because Zero is going to continue to gash.
Vegas offense was solid last year. We know them as the high-flying boomer bust air raid style of high-flying offense, but the defense really struggled. 22nd in points, 2nd most total yards allowed, and Zero just gashed him for a big run. They'll run right back to him. Nice stop there shortly after by Chris Magel, 5th season corner, and a small gain that time for Zero. His previous one went for 20.
Good start here for Zero, 44 yards in just 7 attempts. He's averaging 6, and that's a solid start for him in the first quarter.
It's after he didn't really do all that much on Queen City's first drive, but now he has started to take over. Time ticking down in the first quarter. Lakeman to pass over the middle. Another catch for Spelling and another first down for Queen City. They continue to cook. For the first time this season, let's check in with Cameron Irvine in the studio with a game break.
Thank you, Tim. Get your screens filled tonight. Vancouver hits Christian Brown, hits Sawyer Stern. And in the middle of the second quarter, Vancouver and Tulsa are tied at 14. Got some fun games tonight. Back to you guys in Vegas.
Thanks a lot, Cam. Looks like a barn burner over there and a good start for us here. Lakeman in his first SFL game throws short. Nice pickup on first down and a gain of 8 for Queen City. That is Stephen McMichaels, their number 2 tight end, another well-traveled guy, former Tulsa Desperado we just saw on that other screen.
Yeah, I like the play selection and play direction that Queen City's given right now. The passing plays are being set up by the well-run running plays of the Queen City offense.
We'll run it again. It's Bovine this time on a quick check that. It is 0, so they've got 40 as a running back, and they've got 39 as a fullback, and it's 0 on that give. Needed 2, but only got 1. Another tackle for A.K. Jones.
You look there at the start, the Lakeman has 7 for 7 in his first game in the SFL, including 2 passes over 25 yards, which is a nice start for him and for this Queen City offense.
He's been brilliant. Do they throw it on third down? They ran it last time. They'll run it here. 0 with the block from Bovine. Gets the first down, and Queen City into the red zone for the first time tonight. Hit by Shad Allen in his second season with Vegas. Another first down and another third down conversion for Queen City.
Yeah, they've been next to just about perfect on third down so far. I think they're missing 1. If my memory serves, and they've been very good in the close yardage situations. To see what they continue to do.
41% on those situations last season, Chris. It looks like a whole new beast as 0 gets another nice gain down the right sideline, tackled there by Reside. So 41% conversion rate. Teams in the SFL last season converted on average about 55%. It just shows you how far off from not even the leader, from how off from the pace they were last season.
And they still managed to win 5 games.
Yeah.
So they didn't necessarily let that hurt them as much as it could have, but they could definitely use an improvement in that category.
Vegas allowed 60% of the third down conversions attempted against them, and so far today, higher than that. On second down, 0 running left tackle. Nice tackle by a member of the Fury defense. That is Magel again. Check that, it's Allen again on the outside, and another third down and short for Queen City.
And you got to think, how patient is Queen City going to want to be? They continue to get these short yardage plays between 5 and 8 yards in most cases. And how long is it going to be before the youngster Lakeman decides to take a shot?
They'll run it on third and short. Another run. Bovine is stopped short. 39 against 39. And Merrick Itera, in his 10th season with Vegas, makes the hit on Bovine, and that is how the first quarter will end. A sterling start for John Lakeman in his pro debut. His touchdown is the difference. It's 7-0 Corsairs after 1 quarter. Welcome back to Vegas. We remind you that aerial coverage of today's game is provided by Dags DroneWorks, aerial photography and videography services for real estate, events, marketing, and more. Learn more at dagsdroneworks.com. Not the first time we've seen a team come out on fourth down. Chris, what do you think they'll do?
I think, honestly, we're looking at probably trying to get them offside. I don't see them making a gamble on this particular play just because they're already up a score. There's no need to try to push it, as they could go up 2 possessions here.
It is Vegas after all. The clock's not running, though, so this is, if you're new to the SFL, you see this play once every 2 or 3 games, or at least I do. I don't know about you, Chris. You watch more games than me. You see it once every 2 or 3 games, and I feel like it works once every 6 or 7 games, and it doesn't work there for Queen City.
No, it doesn't. But and it does utilize a timeout, which could be a problem later on in this second quarter. But a worthwhile gamble to try to gamble a timeout on it and see if they are able to get a first down. But instead, they'll bring out the kicker to see if they can add on 3 points.
Remember, Queen City has only failed on 1 third down conversion, and on the next play, they went for it on 4th down and converted. So now for the second time, they fail on 3rd down, and they will elect to kick. So for the first time in his pro career, we see Joe Garfield come on for a field goal, relative chip shot. Not easy for rookie kickers in this league, Chris, but he makes it look easy. The 2 rookies for this Queen City offense, Lakeman and Garfield, have combined for all 10.
Yeah. Good stuff so far from the Queen City offense. I like what their system looks pretty polished for being as young a team as they are. They're using the run to set up the pass and move the secondary in to burn them over the top. They did so on the Doug Spelling, the Deezer Powell touchdown earlier. and would like to see them continue to do that until Vegas proves they can stop them.
Another short kick and returnable for Breton, who slips through the first tackle, and he will start Vegas's second drive from the 32. So a turnover on Vegas's first possession from Eric Price in his first game with his new team, but turnovers are something that Vegas fans are very familiar with. With Joseph Green at quarterback last season, Vegas turned the ball over 40 times. That was most in the league in a 12-game regular season, 3.5 turnovers per game. A big reason why Vegas finished 6-6. More on that later. Price will throw on his first pass of his second drive. Short pass, Scott Johnson on the catch, and a quick tackle by Claudius Periwinkle, one of the many rookies on this Queen City defense.
Yeah, good job getting to Johnson before he can get upfield and maybe turn and go with that football in hand. But you talk about the turnovers that Vegas had. How about the takeaways that they had as well? They led the league a season ago in takeaways, yet because of the amount of turnovers they had given up, their turnover differential not very good.
It was crazy to see that. 2nd and 7. Price has time, throws into traffic again, and nearly picked. How did that fall to the ground? Knocked away ultimately by G.B. Wallace, yet another one of these rookies in the secondary for Queen City. First target tonight for Mason Kirby, fresh off of a career season.
Yeah, he's come into his own in Vegas ever since. He's been to a few teams, but Mason Kirby has come into his own in a Vegas uniform over the last couple seasons, and Queen City secondary playing well when Price decides to go downfield.
What do they do here on 3rd down? This is where they picked off Price on Vegas's first possession. 3rd and 7, Price is going to lock and load into traffic again, swatted and intercepted again for the second time. This time it's the veteran Greg Gaines, his 8th season in the SFL, one of the few returners on this Queen City defense. Second verse, same as the first, another turnover for Eric Price.
Yeah, and Vegas continues to take shots downfield when they need not. They are not in any kind of desperate way, and clearly Queen City is proving that they are up to the challenge of Price going downfield. So now if you're Vegas, you really need to look in the mirror here and decide to make some changes. Maybe change up the play style a little bit. Clearly the strategy you had originally is not working. Use Scott Johnson. He's a very able-bodied back, and see where they go from there.
Queen City right back to work with an early 10-point lead. Floating it up is Lakeman. That's swatted and intercepted right back. Here go the Fury down the left sideline. Nobody will catch him. Dueling interceptions, and Vegas's first points of season 20 come from the defense. Max Jackson does it again.
Yes, he does. Number 2 in interceptions coming into this game all time as a safety, and he does it again here, this time getting Vegas on the board for their first touchdown of season 20, and a nice defended ball batted up in the air that Jackson's able to take back.
5th career defensive touchdown for Max Jackson. And would you believe, John Lakeman's first incompletion as a professional is returned for a touchdown. One of his first passes went for a touchdown to Deezer Powell, and his 9th pass goes for a touchdown to Max Jackson. Welcome to the league, John Lakeman. Things can change in a hurry.
Yeah, welcome to the SFL moment for Lakeman for sure.
Matt Rage will come on to kick for Vegas. A very interesting career. Was on the team a while ago, made the All-Star game in season 11, and then was gone, and this is now his 4th total season back with Las Vegas. So things change in a hurry, Chris. You know it well. You're a veteran of this league, and it looked like Queen City could have marched down the field, added some more points to this lead, but instead they just tossed Las Vegas a lifeline.
Yeah, they absolutely did. Let them back into this game in front of their home crowd, and now Queen City going to get the ball back at the very least. They can try to answer, but now is where you kind of test the fortitude of John Lakeman, the young guy trying to make an impact here, pardon the hashtag, in the in this particular drive, and not an impact of the negative variety.
One of the many newcomers of this Queen City offense, Tony Zoma, his 8th total season in the SFL, former tight end with the Carolina Skyhawks, now one of the wide receivers here for Queen City and returning kicks to start the year. Haven't seen him return a kick yet, as Queen City has gotten the ball twice off of interceptions after he returned the opening kick, of course. 10 minutes left until halftime. Lakeman will toss it back off his first pass after the interception. is caught by Jet Zero for no gain. Seems as good a time as any to introduce you to the Queen City offense. The quarterbacks John Lakeman, halfback Jet Zero, fullback Tiberius Bovine, wide receivers Adrian Ellis, Tony Zilma, Doug Spelling, and Deezer Powell, a pair of tight ends Stephen McMichaels and James Matthew Jr., and the offensive line is anchored by left guard Robert Crone. This is Queen City's 4th possession, and they have not targeted James Matthew Jr. once. Instead, they'll toss it out to Zero again. Conservative play calling here, Chris, with a rookie quarterback, relative veteran running back. Gain of 3 for Zero.
I kind of wanted to see him get back to what they were doing originally, and that's giving Jet Zero runs up the middle. That seems to be where they were getting a majority of their yardage, and they were setting up their third down plays. So they're getting away from this in the swing pass game and the screen game, and I'm not necessarily a fan of it.
Zero only caught 65 passes last year, which sounds like a big number, but relative to a lot of these league running backs, it's not. High snap, play action for Lakeman. Now he'll lock and load, and incomplete. Going for Spelling. High throw from Lakeman. There were 2 Fury defenders there. They could not link up. It's 4th down.
If Lakeman's going to make that throw happen, he put it in the right spot. There was only one chance for anyone to catch that, and it was his guy. So, yes, it went incomplete, but all told, if he's going to make that throw, did not put it in a bad spot. Now it's 4th down.
He's clearly liked this Doug Spelling as his number 1 wide receiver, Chris. It's his 4th target already. Not many guys last season saw more targets than Doug Spelling, of course, with a different quarterback. Punt from Greg Morrison is nearly blocked. Returnable, though, for Britton, who'll try to cut out this way and has nowhere to go. You liking this game so far? Then smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There's no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. Thank you for helping the SFL reach 10 years of operation through your viewership. Can I just say that I love that we have an ad read titled Smash That Like Button? I love it so much.
I like it.
Vegas offense has provided 0 points so far, not something they're used to. There is a dot from Eric Price. He had some good games as the quarterback in Denver, Chris, and Vegas knows him extremely well from all those Vice Wars matchups. That was his best throw of the day to rookie Prince Wonder. Vegas' first-round pick has his first big league catch.
Yeah, Vegas, with their mindset coming in, getting Eric Price, if you can't beat him, join him. Their record in Vice Wars not the greatest all told, but they go and get the quarterback that was beating him and try to make a step forward with him. I like it.
Such an interesting parallel. Price will now throw very short, and sliding out of the initial hit to get a gain of a couple is John Blaze. We mentioned him, the veteran, started his career as a tight end. This is now his 10th season, all with this Vegas franchise. One-time All-Star, has been a standout as their number 1 wide receiver, but converts back to tight end this season in his 10th season to pave the way for Doug Britton to take over that number 1 spot alongside the standout Mason Kirby. Here's a run on 2nd down and shorts. Hubba Kimbrell gets that carry. He's stopped at the end of it by Todd Rigsby. Kimbrell, Chris, had 2 career carries before this season, and so far tonight he's got 2 more.
Yeah, I mean, trying to find something that works for him, a position that's going to be that was of need for Queen City in Vegas, and how they wanted to approach their offense. A 2 running back system is how they wanted to do it, and he gives them that option.
As you see there from Cameron Irvine, Johnson only 1 carry, but that won't matter as Price goes over the middle and has his best completion of the game so far. Mason Kirby has arrived.
Yes, he has, over the middle of the field, taking advantage of this young secondary. Nice post route from Kirby here. Gets behind 2 members, including one of the safeties of that Queen City roster. And a bit, I mean, one could call it probably a horse collar on the tackle. No call there, but sets up the Fury in a red zone situation for the 2nd time tonight.
First catch of the season for Kirby. It goes for 34 yards, one of the best big play wide receivers in the SFL, as Kimbrell gets hog-tied behind the line by Joseph Sobulka, one of the very few returners on this Queen City defense. There were 9 new players on their defensive roster last season. There are 7 new players, 5 returners on their defensive roster this season. Sobulka is one of them, joined them last season from Charleston. So a loss of 2 on first down there. Price under center. And now he'll step up and throw to the near side. Another nice tackle, wrenching down the receiver on this near side. That's Prince Wonder, who has his second 10-yard catch of this drive.
Good work there by Wonder jumping in front of that football, not trying to let it come to him. He's trying to go get it instead. I like what I saw there, keeping the ball away from the secondary member who was completely up in his personal space, trying to get a shot at that football.
From the 6, they'll run it right into traffic. They go, and another hit at the line of scrimmage. Leading the way was Orion Horace, second season linebacker. You also get a look there at Richard Worley, one of the backup defensive linemen. They ran it on 3rd and short with Scott Johnson, Chris, and he had nowhere to go.
He did not. Queen City, very good work on defense on the run in this particular drive, and that was the only time they were able to burn Queen City was over the top or in the passing game, and it forces a 3-point try to try to make this game even.
So Matt Rage, in his 4th total season kicking for Vegas, comes on and knocks through the field goal. 2 chip shots from 2 relative league newcomers at this position. We mentioned, Chris, it's hard to acclimate to the big leagues, especially for me, in my experience, at those 2 positions, kicker and quarterback. Queen City has rookies at both of those positions. Vegas certainly does not, but less experienced guys relative to some others, I guess. But so far, they've been perfect.
Yeah, they have, and they've handled themselves pretty well in the mental game as well, as it doesn't take it takes a lot to be able to do that.
Short return there for Soma, and Queen City will start at the 21. If you're new to the SFL, it's the Simulation Football League. It combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game all into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at www.simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. In a hallmark season for this league, 20th season of action. Lakeman in his first of many seasons, he assumes, and it's a short throw and another catch for Doug Spelling, his 4th of the game.
I see the goal there, Doug Spelling coming across the formation, trying to get into a lane where he can grab the football and make a run towards the sideline and out. And it's going to take a lot more anticipation from the young quarterback Lakeman to try to put it in a spot where he can catch it in stride and just go. And instead he had to look at the football to try to bring that one in.
Second down, they'll run it with Zero, who's really started to heat up. Nice tackle from behind. Stops Zero a yard short of the sticks once again, but another good gain for Jet Zero.
Yeah, liking what I see from him when he gets through the tackles, and that's the big thing. Trying to work him on the outside is not his style. Getting him in between the tackles, in between the guard and the tackle, is usually the way to go with him to get him into the second level and the goal is to make the first man miss. You got to make the first man miss as a running back at least some of the time. And he's able to do that, at least in some facet there.
Bovine gets to give on 3rd down, and they will mark him short once again. For the 2nd time of this first half, they run it to the veteran Hall of Famer Tiberius Bovine on 3rd and short, and he is stopped shy of the sticks. Maurice Lloyd made that hit, a former safety with the Arizona Scorpions. She comes over to become the inside linebacker for Vegas, and she just decked Hall of Famer Tiberius Bovine.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like that spot all told, but either way, it ends up being a Queen City punt and another almost block.
I'm with you. I thought we would get another look at it for sure. Certainly maybe a challenge from Tom Welsh, but none coming, and Queen City will have to punt it away again. The Corsairs scored the first 10 points of the game. Vegas has scored the last 10, and we've got a brand new ball game. A lot to be excited about for Vegas, Chris. I mean, you get yourself a new quarterback. You change up the look of the offense a little bit. You've got some holdovers. Mason Kirby and Doug Britton were both all-stars last year. That's now your 1-2 punch. Scott Johnson has shown a lot of flash in his pro career as your running back. There's a lot to like here, but a lot to improve on the other side of the ball. Here's a nice run. Best of the game for our Scott Johnson. Welcome back, Johnson, and he is hog-tied by Gaines down the sideline. That prevents a touchdown. Best run of the game for either team, 42 yards for Scott Johnson.
That's the kind of Vegas offense that's the most effective. Use the running back to set up the pass instead of just trying to throw it at the secondary the entire time. Scott Johnson showing what he can do, that burst of speed at the very end, just about enough to break away. Not here, but look for that in the future.
Talked about a career season last year for Mason Kirby. Not the case for Scott Johnson. 1,021 yards and 8 touchdowns. Both of those were the fewest since season 15, his rookie campaign here with Vegas. So hoping to get off to a better season and reestablish himself as one of the better backs in the league. 3 minutes left. Delayed play action, and Price's throw is nowhere near his target. It was Johnson, and they were not on the same calibration.
Yeah, not sure if that was a block and release. It just didn't release, or it was just a route miscommunication as to where Johnson thought he was supposed to be and where Price thought he was supposed to be. So that a little bit of a mental lapse, and one you can't afford against a Queen City defense that actually ultimately is playing pretty well. But Vegas has a couple plays to try to get it rated here.
Such a solid Vegas offense last year, but a new look a little bit with a new-looking quarterback. Second down, play action for Price. He will launch to the back of the end zone, and he is intercepted for the third time tonight. Second one for the veteran Greg Gaines, and another drive for Vegas comes to a screeching halt.
Yeah, he was looking to try to hit his receiver in the back of the end zone, and just an ill-advised throw. You see Gaines watching the quarterback the entire way, knowing where that ball is headed, and just eyes it right into his mitts on the jump. So good work from Gaines again, stopping the Vegas drive short. Queen City has a chance now at their 20 to try to answer that and take some points off turnovers.
Greg Gaines, a league veteran, has played all over the secondary over the course of his career. He's been a corner, he's been a safety, he's done a little bit of everything. Picked off 9 passes last year, 2 for him in game 1 of season 20. Quick throw from Lakeman, short gain for Jet Zero. Let's introduce you to the Vegas defense. Haven't talked about the defensive line much at all, Chris. Sam Yeager, Anthony Stover, Michael Rory, and A.K. Jones. Linebackers Maurice Lloyd, John Osiris, and Day Drury. And in the secondary, Chris Magel, Merrick Itera, Justin Reside, Shawn Allen, Luke Swift, and the veteran Max Jackson, who we have talked a lot about. Second down, another short throw from Lakeman to Zero. Sidestep by Zero, and no dice. Great tackle right on him by Chris Magel.
Yeah, and Magel all over Zero on the juke attempt there, trying to get him out of his shoes. But you mentioned the secondary for the Vegas Fury. They are the main tools that brought them a team-leading amount of takeaways a season ago. The interceptions were absolutely aplenty in Sin City as we hit the 2-minute warning. 40
takeaways last season, most in the league. 2 minutes left in the first half here in Vegas, and we're all tied up at 10 apiece. This is the SFL presented by APM Music, live on YouTube. Happy to have you with us tonight. Final game of the first Saturday of season 20. Alongside Chris Curtis, I'm Tim Hackett. Pleased to have you with us. Good start for Queen City. Second quarter has not gone quite as well for them. Another third down. The worst third down team last season. So much for that. It's a brand new season for Queen City. Lakeman links up with Adrian Ellis for the first time, and another first down.
Yeah, another first down for them on a third down. They've converted all but I believe 2 so far in this first half. Very good work from Queen City on offense, and good play calling too. They're not trying to do too much. They're playing within themselves and within their ability to try to keep the chains moving, and that's exactly what you need to do, keeping things on schedule.
Lakeman has only missed on 2 passes, and one of them was the pick 6 by Jackson, though in fairness, many of them have been those dump offs to Zero. 7 of them, in fact. Here's another run for Zero. Up the middle he goes. Short gain of about 4 that time for Zero. Want in-depth statistics all season long? Then visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for info about the league and its 28 teams, and to see all the league records, team stats, player leaderboards, the rankings of the next class of SFL talent, and so much more. Simulationfl.net, your home for everything SFL. Minutes ago in the first half. Handoff to Zero, hit at the line and can't break free. A timeout coming from Queen City, their second of the half. Let's throw it quickly to Cameron Irvine, who's got a game break.
Thank you, Tim. The shootout continues in Tulsa. This time Douglas Brown getting on the board on the first drive of the second half, 21-21. Both offenses putting on a show. They are midway through the third quarter. Back to you guys.
Show for sure, and in Vegas, what's Vegas without a show? 10-10 game here as Lakeman gets smacked and nearly takes a sack. Another hit for A.K. Jones. We mentioned we haven't talked about this defensive line at all, Chris Curtis, except for him. A.K. Jones has been a wrecking ball.
He has. He's had a couple of really good shots on Lakeman so far, and their secondary play starts with their defensive line. If they're able to get pressure on the opposing quarterback, which they have tonight, then it causes issues for the offense and lets the secondary feast.
Another failed third down conversion for Queen City. They were 4 of their first 5. They've hit on just 1 since. Another punt here for Greg Morrison. Another near block for Vegas. Got to be sooner rather than later, right? Says Britain has nothing on this return. They've been so close, so near many times tonight, Chris, but just coming up empty.
And see how, again, patient Vegas wants to be on offense here. They've got 44 seconds. They have all 3 timeouts to work with, and I think a goal for them should be to at least get into field goal range for Matt Rage to give them a lead going into the half. And it's going to have to be methodical with good clock management to get that done.
Vegas does still have all 3 timeouts. They have run the ball a total of 6 times tonight. Queen City has run the ball 17 times in this first half. They will throw it here. It's Johnson out of the backfield, spin moves, and tackled inbounds. So Scott Johnson not able to get out, not able to wrestle out of it, and so Vegas will use a timeout.
Yeah, so good work from Johnson to be able to evade the first couple of tackles. However, his goal was to get out of bounds. He couldn't do it there. And now Vegas down to 2 clock stoppages left, but still a decent amount of time. It's probably going to take a 15-yard pass to be able to get them into field goal range.
We've seen Price not be afraid to uncork it, but unfortunately for him, a lot of the times it's resulted in interceptions. See it there, he's thrown 3. Play action for him here. Feels the heat, and he gets hit. Nearly gets sacked right back. Another hit in the backfield for Queen City, this time by L.L. Volt, another one of their rookies. Remember, they've got 7 on this defense, and number 69 has his first quarterback hit.
And good work on the defensive end from Volt, able to get around his charge. When the arm, I don't know if it was entirely moving forward on that. I'm surprised that wasn't called a fumble.
Volt gets around his charge. Very well done. I don't even know if you meant to do that. I'll give it to you. 3rd down and 4 for Vegas. Time ticking away. To the near sideline, swatted back into the field of play. My goodness, that was a carom and then some. Another big play for Greg Gaines. Already 2 picks. Give him a PD as well, and it's 4th down.
He is feeling it too, because if he's not having the game that he's having so far, I'm not sure if he makes the aggressive play like that as the safety to jump that pass. That's a fantastic bit of instinct for Greg Gaines, able to get up, get a hand on it. I think if he plays that a little bit slower, he might be able to get 2 hands on that and bring that in.
He is having one of the best games that I've ever seen out of Greg Gaines. Again, league veteran, played for a ton of different teams at a ton of different positions, and the number 2 corner ostensibly here for Queen City this season, he's been great. Here's a punt from Dustin McRack, the veteran punter for Queen City, and Tony Zoma can do nothing with it. So the Corsairs, Chris, will start at their 22 seconds and 1 timeout. How aggressive are you if you're Tom Welsh?
Honestly, I think a 10-10 game in this first half is not a terrible way to take it to the locker room. We'll see what kind of leash they have on Lakeman, and I think it's going to spell what we have for the rest of the game as well, as far as how the sideline feels about him.
They're happy to let him loose early, resulted in that touchdown pass to Deezer Powell. They will run it to Jet Zero. He gets tripped up once again. Hit in the backfield for Michael Rury, and that's going to be how the first half ends.
Yeah, no more snaps in this particular half. Run play. And they're more than happy with the first half of play the way it's gone. I don't foresee them getting this ball off.
Unreal. And Zero will run it right into the thick of the defense. May have gotten that yard back. And honestly, the only person that hurts is Jet Zero. Runs right into Day Drury, the veteran outside linebacker here for Vegas. 16th carry of the first half for Jet Zero. And we end all tied up after 2 quarters. Queen City 10. Las Vegas 10.
Yeah, and when you look at both these rosters, the real big showing is that Queen City on defense playing lights out so far. Vegas' set touchdown, the only one they have, came on an interception return for a touchdown, pick 6, and we have really yet to see Vegas get into a rhythm with Eric Price as their quarterback in this first game.
Queen City defense last season in season 19, they're tired of hearing about last season, but it's good to have the perspective here in week 1. Their defense was not the problem. I mean, they were 9th in the league in points per game. They were 9th against the run. They only gave up 19 passing touchdowns. That was 10th fewest. They were good against third downs. They were good in takeaways. Top 10 in both of those marks. So this defensive unit was good, but it's a brand new defensive unit. We've already talked about it. 7 new players. All of those are rookies, only 5 returners. So it's a new-looking group trying to continue that success. So far, so good. First carry of the second half belongs to Scott Johnson. Give him 6. To your point, Chris, Queen City as a defense in that first half allowed only unofficially 150 yards of offense.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. That's a pretty solid piece of work. And now is when Vegas starts. It seems like their mentality is starting to change a little bit. Start with a slow, methodical game with the run plays on first and second down. Then air it out when you need to, but be creative with it.
They will run it on second down. Good call, Chris. And a first down for Vegas. Up the middle goes Scott Johnson. He was barely here. Check that. It is Hubba Kimbrell. He's got the yellow sleeves a little bit further down the arms, and Hubba Kimbrell has a first down run.
Yeah, best run so far we've seen from Kimbrell as that number 2 back in the 1-2 combo that Vegas is sporting. So how often will Hubba Kimbrell get the ball in those situations as Johnson's back out there now?
See the difference. Johnson's sleeves go all the way up to the bottom of his jersey sleeves. They'll play action to Kimbrell. And Price under pressure. Down he goes. First sack for either team and a loss of 7 on first down for this Queen City defense.
And that hurts. That hurts real big for Eric Price. He takes that hit, and it's because it took too much time on the play action, took too much time with the ball, and the offensive line could not hold off the Corsairs rushing 4 in this particular moment. So good work from the defensive line to get home, and it's going to speed up the clock mentally for Eric Price going into these next few passing plays.
Welcome to the SFL. Dan Dash, rookie, one of the first round picks for Queen City in the most recent draft, is his first sack. Do they have another one? They do. The price is wrong on this possession. Eric Price gets buried, plundered by a pair of Corsairs. Leading the way is Newton North. A rookie corner has his first pro sack.
Yeah, corner blitz on that took down Price. And you said the price is wrong. How about his body plinkoing between 3 different Corsairs? There you go.
Come on down. That's what Price did. Come on, right down to the floor. Loss of 13 on 2 plays. Now on third down, Price will fire, and they got it all back. 3rd and 23. Who cares when you have Mason Kirby in your employ? First down, Vegas.
And this is a great placed ball from Price here. He puts it right in the breadbasket for Mason Kirby, and it's just a little bit of a lunge where he's the only one that has a shot at that football. If he's not able to make contact on it, it's an overthrow. No big deal, right? At that point would have been a 4th down. They'd have punted away again. In this case, Kirby makes the play and has it on the money side of midfield.
On 3rd and 23, they go to the guy who had the 2nd best receiving average in the SFL last season, just a tick under 19 yards per catch. An insane mark. They'll flip it out short. Scott Johnson with a nice gain of 8 there on first down. It was a career season 19 for Mason Kirby. Made his 2nd All-Star game. He was 28th in the league in receptions with 78, which isn't bad. But even still, despite being 28th in the league in receptions, he was 3rd in the SFL in receiving yards with just a little bit under 1,500. And again, that 19-yard average, 9 touchdowns, tied his career high in touchdowns, and beat his previous career high in receiving yards by over 400. 2nd and short, first down here for Vegas. And finally, Chris, we started to see this offense unlock a little bit.
Yeah, they've unlocked a little bit, but we're going to get to the point soon where they need to test their finishing ability one more time. Twice they've had the ball in the red zone. Twice they've been picked inside the red zone, and in one case the end zone. So this is where we need to see Vegas actually put the commitment to the finish as much as they had the method to getting to that point.
Toss it out to Hubba Kimbrell. Rare first catch for the new number 2 tailback, and he is wrenched down for a loss by Kappa Jones, a Queen City veteran. Started his career here with Queen City in the secondary, returned last season as this inside linebacker. He's one of their few holdovers, so his 2nd tour of duty on this pirate ship, and making a play here for TFL. I'll spread it out here. They got 3 wide to the bottom of the screen. 7:15 left in the 3rd. And oh my goodness, that pass from Price, no receivers in the area.
He was looking for Johnson. Johnson got caught up on the offensive line trying to cross the formation and put himself into a catch and run play type for the Vegas offense, and just couldn't quite get free of the offensive line, who's done a real good job blocking, but also blocking him.
No way through for the tailback. Good call by you. He got completely lost in the muck there. Another 3rd down and 12. Do they call Mason Kirby's number again? Price looking deep down the right sideline. Another tipped pass for Greg Gaines. They were looking for Mason Kirby. That's been the battle here in the last 2 quarters. Chris, Kirby against Gaines, 2 league veterans. Gaines wins it that time.
Price having a hard time finding the grip on the football. I feel like he's had a couple of crucial underthrows. He hit Kirby earlier on a key 3rd down. They're a criminally underthrown ball that probably by all rights should have been picked.
On 3rd and 12, they don't get any yards, and so they're out of Matt Rage's field goal range. This would be better than 50 yards from here, and so it'll be a kick from McCrack, one of the best punters in the SFL, and case in point, pins Queen City at the 4-yard line. A net of just 35, but exactly what was needed from the veteran.
The literal definition of a coffin corner punt. That's fantastic work from McRack to put that ball right where it needed to be. And Queen City gave up on it. The return man just gave up on it, not letting it go any further than that, but it just dies right where it needed to.
The competition isn't necessarily fierce at that position, punter in this league, Chris. It's not like the league is jam-packed with punters on all 28 teams, but even still, right. McRack has made the All-Star game in 5 of his first 7 seasons. Pretty impressive. From the 4, here's 0. Not much doing there, a gain of just 3.
Yeah, it does get a little bit of separation between them and the shadow of their own end zone, which is important. So 3 more yards of room doesn't sound like a lot, but it's actually 9 feet, which can be the difference between nothing and 2 points for the other team. So that's a big run either way to get it to a 2nd and main.
There's no question that Queen City needs to get on track on offense. They were one of the league's worst offenses last season, but a lot of change for them. Has hopes a little bit higher as 0 gets trucked behind the line. Maybe not on this drive. John Osiris, his 3rd season with Vegas. Another TFL for him.
Good read from the linebacker, Osiris. 0. This is another classic case of him needing to be able to break the first tackle, and a nice leg tackle from Osiris to bring him down. They lose a lot of the yardage they gained in the first run.
So 3rd down and 8. This has been a trouble spot for Queen City since the first quarter ended. They will run it, and 0 runs right into the line. Osiris is there at the top of the pile, as is Maurice Loy, the former Arizona Scorpion, and it's 4th down again.
And now Queen City in a spot their punter is not going to have a ton of room back there. He's going to be backed up at the back of his own end zone. So there's been a closeness to the blocked punts in this game. How close do they get here?
Speaking of close, Morrison's ankles, heels so close to his own goal line, his own end zone, excuse me, and that is close as well, as Britain will get this drive started at the 32-yard line. Goes without saying, best field position for either team, and Vegas, Chris, has its best chance to take the lead.
At the very least, 3 points should be absolute priority for the Fury on this drive. But you're right, best field position of the day so far, and they need desperately to take advantage of a situation like this and get their offense on a roll.
Queen City was 4 of 5 on 3rd down conversions in that first quarter. Since then, 1 of 5. Thanks to Mark Lopez for the stat sheet. Thanks to the stats team for filling that out for us. Short throw from Price, and in the backfield, nothing doing for Scott Johnson. A loss of 1 on that hit. Quickly, here is the Vegas offense. Price, the quarterback, Kirby, Britton, and Prince Wonder, the receivers. Pair of tight ends, John Blades and Jackson Roberts, and the 2 tailbacks, Hubba Kimbrell and Scott Johnson. You got to look at Johnson there, now his 6th season with the team that drafted him, former minor league standout, still trying to become a pro standout here with Vegas. From the 33, Price barely even moves and will toss it out to Johnson. Half step by Johnson, stepped out of bounds, and a penalty flag flies. Interesting one here, Chris. What did you see?
Likely an offensive holding is what I saw from there. Nope, they're going to call it face.
Face mask which way, though? Against Queen City, an incidental face mask against Kappa Jones. On the hit against Johnson, maybe we'll see another play, another look at the play.
Possibly, but I think ultimately, if it's going to come down to it, it's going to create a first down for the Fury, which is not what Queen City could afford in that spot, and it puts the Fury in the red zone.
A killer for Queen City, a team with 7 rookies. The 10th season veteran commits a face mask penalty. From the 20, Price steps up, will zip it down the right sideline and right on the money again. 17 yards for Mason Kirby. That's his shortest catch of the day.
Yeah, shortest catch of the day, which is saying something. His average is somewhere through the roof. But nice job by Price, putting the ball where it needs to be, stepping up in the pocket and making that throw. That's a hard throw to make, anticipating where Kirby's going to be in the secondary, not able to read where Kirby is going on that route. Good work. First and goal for the Fury. Best chance to score so far.
3 catches for 75 yards for Kirby. Math even I can do, Chris. His average 25 per catch.
Proud of you.
From the 3, Price will toss it out. Johnson lowers the shoulder, decks a defender, and scores. The Fury take the lead for the first time this season on a receiving touchdown from Scott Johnson.
Yeah, their first offensive touchdown of the regular seasons. They had the pick 6 earlier, and it caps off a drive where more often than not in this drive, Queen City beat themselves, but Vegas, too good a team to not take advantage of that, at least on this particular drive. So good work from them to take what the defense gave them, which on this particular occasion was pretty much a lot.
This game, this league, Chris, giveth and taketh away. Greg Gaines had the game of his life. The first 2 quarters, he was tremendous. A couple of pass deflections and a couple of picks. And on that drive, he saw the shoulder of Scott Johnson, saw the turf, and saw Vegas score 7 points to take the lead.
Yeah, good work. Good work from Vegas. And now Queen City, the young team, has to try to find a way to answer. They were up as much as 10-0. 17 unanswered points from Vegas. Now has Queen City looking ahead of them at Vegas, who's well ahead of them in the schedule of this game.
3 receiving touchdowns a season ago for Scott Johnson. First offensive touchdown, as Chris said, for the Fury here in season 20, courtesy of the 6th season veteran. Capping off a Sunday night of SFL action tomorrow, the Minnesota Legend are fresh off an inaugural season playoff berth. The Sasquatch welcome Portland in week 1, who won 4 out of 6 to close last season out. Who will start their season off right? Catch kickoff at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time, part of a 4-game SFL slate, Sunday, right here on SFL YouTube. As Chris says, 17 unanswered points for Vegas. They have the lead for the first time in season 20. These two teams trying to get off to a good start. That's a good start to this drive for Queen City. The catch by Deezer Powell, would you believe it? His first catch since the first drive, which went for a touchdown.
That's nice route run by Deezer Powell, post route right in the middle of the zone defense in Vegas. Playing a little bit farther back than I think that they were comfortable with doing, but Queen City's tried to burn them over the top a couple times, so just a matter of familiarity and circumstance here. Spelling makes him pay.
So no targets, no catches for James Matthew Jr., and another hit in the backfield on Jet Zero, who's had trouble getting going here in the second half. Second TFL of the second half for Michael Rory.
Seems like the Vegas mentality on defense and the coaching staff has been, you know what, we're going to make Lakeman beat us deep, because they've committed, it seems, especially with 7 in the box here, where they're going to stop Jet Zero at all costs, and they're going to send people deep to try to stop him.
Lakeman will throw deep, and that's swatted into the air by Chris Magel. Feels like he's been all over the field, Chris. He's a corner, but playing back deep safety territory. And we've seen balls carom and careen more, I feel like, than ever before tonight. Something in the Vegas air on a Saturday evening. It's just going everywhere. And for Queen City, it doesn't go anywhere good.
Yeah, not so much in this particular spot, but I like the Vegas mentality. Make the young man beat you. And so far, he hasn't been able to do that consistently.
He's done it once, really, and that's about it. That big 40-plus yard pass to Deezer Powell. That's it. Play fake to Zero. He will try to go deep. Has a man open, and a diving catch is made. He does beat him deep on this occasion. Doug Spelling has his first big catch of season 20.
That was a big one as well. I think Lakeman wants it back just to put it a little bit more in stride for Spelling here. Finds him on the dive forward, and Max Jackson, you can see him there. He can't believe it with his hands up by his helmet. Good stuff from the Queen City offense to take advantage, and now we'll see if the mentality shifts for Vegas.
Tonight, Spelling has catches of 25 yards, and that one good for 34. First down from the 37. There's a short throw this time from Lakeman, a little bit more like it, and another catch for Spelling. You see it there, his 6th of the game. So 6 for Spelling, 2 for Powell, 1 for Ellis, none for James Matthew Jr., and throwing 8 for Jet Zero as well.
Interesting throw there as he found a hole between the corner and the linebacker in that area to find Spelling and a nice quick way to gain 6 yards.
Matthew Jr. off a career year. Haven't heard from him yet tonight. Lakeman again locks and loads into quadruple coverage, hits a helmet, and then hits the turf. Unbelievable. Gut check time for Lakeman, and Magel again at the scene of the crime for Vegas, but nothing doing.
Yeah, and another Plinko ball as that one got batted around like crazy. But that being said, it's a matter of consistently beating the Vegas defense, and consistency has been the plague for Lakeman so far in his first go in as far as throwing it deep. We'll see if he can fix that going forward.
Gets gave up the second most passing yards in the league a season ago. Lakeman will try to test him. Over the middle he goes. Caught. Touchdown. The first target, the first catch, and the first touchdown of season 20 for James Matthew Jr.
And that's a statement throw from Lakeman, showing that again, even with the running attack being thwarted, he's not afraid to go deep. And that's the third ball that has gone for big yardage that has ended up with no Vegas defenders between the receiver and the end zone. And that's a huge play where any tackles that had to be made, they had to chase him down. That's a secondary mishap. You got to have somebody over the top covering those particular routes, especially when Lakeman shows that he's willing to go that way.
This Vegas safety group is really good, Chris, in my estimation. You got Max Jackson, who might be the best strong safety in league history. I've been a fan of Shawn Allen since the minor leagues. You throw in Justin Reside as well. It's a really good trio, but none of them were anywhere to be found on that play. Matthew with just a streak right up the middle. Maurice Lloyd, the middle linebacker, was the only defender within 10 yards, and she had no chance.
Yeah, you have a linebacker playing that deep, that's playing deeper than the safeties on that. That's a problem. So now it's Queen City. It's good news for Queen City at this point. They found a way to come back and answer the touchdown drive from earlier, and we have ourselves an even game in the last 2 minutes of the third.
No question. We're able to respond to the first little bit of adversity, the first deficit they had, and tied the game right back up. In the SFL YouTube chat, hope you're joining us in there. Eddie Gage takes offense at the Max Jackson might be the best strong safety in league history comment. Fair enough. Oh, now he just sent me something directly about it. Fair enough as well. Fair enough. Look, hey, we get called out in the SFL if you're wrong, and I respect that. And look, I respect Eddie too much to point to a stat that Max Jackson has even tonight that Eddie does not. Figured we would get to that at some point this weekend. Sorry, Eddie. Tie game again. Low throw from Price, and behind his target. Pressure applied by Kappa Jones. Hit applied by Kappa Jones. Second down.
He can be reached at Tim Hackett on Discord in the SFL server. Go ahead and light him up in his DMs because maybe 1-2 Eddie to Max Jackson. How's that sound?
Look, Eddie and Max Jackson are both better defensive backs than my player in the SFL. We'll leave it at that.
There you go.
I have the same amount of stats as Eddie Gage. At least in one. He's got about 7,000 more tackles and 7,000 more passes defended. Second down for Price. He's going to lock and load, and it is caught somehow. 3 Corsairs were there, but making the catch is Doug Britton. There's Doug Spelling for Queen City. Vegas has a Doug as well. The new number 1 wideout for the Fury has his best catch of the night.
And that may start to work on answering some of the questions that Britton faced in the offseason. He moves to a number 1 spot with John Blades moving over to cover a team need at tight end, and plays like that are a good reason why. He's got the speed to burn on that left side of the formation. He shows it there. Nice corner post route to make the Corsairs pay there.
38 yards for Britton, longest pass of the day for Price, even longer than his 3 big gains to Mason Kirby, and a shorter gain that time for Kirby. Watch that receiving average plummet now, a gain of just 4 for Kirby on that one.
Good work. And the ultimately now we come to a second down, a second and manageable is what Vegas likes to see here. How methodical are they going to be? They threw it deep on a number of occasions early on in this game. They've gone away from that a little bit, and I'd like to see how long they're going to be patient for.
2 in the backfield and 2 to the bottom for Price. A minute left in the third. He'll go deep again, zips it, and nearly intercepted again. 3 picks in the first half to 2 different players. Looking for Prince Wonder, who's already made a couple of catches, and Todd Rigsby, who's also caught a pass from Price, was there on the coverage, as well as G.B. Wallace, rookie strong safety, their 7th overall pick.
And it's showing that Eric Price is clearly not gun-shy about going deep, regardless of how many picks he's thrown in the first half. And, that can be a feast or famine type situation for the Vegas offense.
Question. He's been going for it. Hasn't been shy, as you said, despite throwing those 3 picks. Going to need him to go for it again. On 3rd down, he throws, and it's caught. A first down for Vegas. Wrenching away for the first down is John Blades.
Good work. Tight end moved over to, like I said, to cover a team need in the offseason. He finds a way to get a clutch catch for his team's offense, and it's only a second catch of the day, but none bigger than that one so far to get them clearly into field goal range to possibly give them back the lead or possibly a touchdown if they can do it.
30 seconds left inside the 30-yard line. Queen City jumps again. It'll be a free play for Price. He throws it short. Could have been intercepted by Kappa Jones, the former safety. No mystery about this one, Chris Curtis. I think we know what the flag will be.
Yeah, definitely. Give him back 5 yards and repeat the down. That'll work in the realm of Vegas, and I think you want to see Price take a bigger shot there, but they'll settle for the 5.
That's Dan Dash. We saw him with a sack earlier. He's guilty of the offsides. Let's run you through the Queen City defense. Better late than never is my motto here in the SFL. On the line, LL Volt, Dan Dash, Joseph Cebulka. Linebackers Kappa Jones, Claudius Periwinkle, and Orion Horace. And in the secondary, there's a lot of them. Greg Gaines and Ted Haynes. Newton North, Nano Matthews, Todd Rigsby, and G.B. Wallace. The other 2 safeties are both rookies. Something to watch out for. 1st and 5, they will run it. And stopped short is Hubba Kimbrell. This 2 running back look. Cebulka on the stop. I'm curious in the 4th quarter, Chris, what you think about teams moving to this 2 running back look, because it is more common now than ever before in the SFL. It's got to be a weird balance to strike. At that position, you love to be the star of the show. And in Vegas, they know how to put on a show on offense. So far, it's been a good one. 17-17 after 3 quarters and week 1 of season 20. This is the SFL presented by APM Music, live on YouTube.
The of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Welcome back to Silver State Stadium. The motherboard on that graphic looked great. Cameron Irvine back in League HQ. Justin Reside and Ron Haynes in the stat truck. Tim Hackett along with Chris Curtis in the broadcast booth. Vegas just over into the red zone. 2nd down and 1. Blockers in front of Hubba Kimbrell. He cracks outside. Big hit from behind by Kappa Jones, the veteran linebacker. But Hubba Kimbrell, with his best run in his new role, gets Vegas another 1st down.
Yeah, being the number 2 running back, more of the power in this speed and power combo for Vegas, and doesn't have anybody to bolt through there, so he has to just rely on the speed he's taken down from behind, but enough to get the 1st down. That's a nice look to get him his best run of the day.
A lot of times in this league when teams have 2 tight ends, one's more of the offense, one's more of the blocker. Jackson Roberts, more of the blocker on that play. 1st down from the 11. Price's pass is swatted by Gaines. He had Kirby in the back of the end zone, but Gaines somehow was able to redirect that one. Spider-Man extend-a-arm style.
That was a 5-yard separation between Gaines and Mason Kirby in the corner of that end zone, and Gaines still got up and made the play. That tells you he's still feeling it from his well-done play earlier on in this football game, and that's a confident play from him as well in his ability and his athletic jumping.
3rd pass deflection of the night. Had just 9 last season. This is Johnson now. Spins and then gets shaken down. Chopped at the end by Dan Dash, who's guilty of that offside a few minutes ago. Good stop there. 3rd down.
And now 3rd down chance for Queen City. I think a victory here for them would mean holding the Fury to 3 points or less on this drive, and they have the play to do it right here.
High formation and 2 to the top for Price. He will throw, well protected, end zone, intercepted for the 4th time. Another veteran, Ted Haynes, has his 1st of the season, and another giveaway by Eric Price, something Vegas is used to.
Red zone scoring is one of the key stats in this league, and Vegas has failed on 3 attempts in the red zone at putting the ball in the end zone and getting points. That none bigger than that one right there as we remain with this game tied. This is a huge drive for Queen City to try to keep momentum in their basket.
Turnover differential, a huge stat in this league as well, Chris, and that does not favor Vegas tonight. Short throw from John Lakeman trying to give his team the lead once again in his SFL debut. Another catch for Doug Spelling. It's crazy how the stats work for Vegas last season. 40 giveaways, most in the league, but also 40 takeaways, most in the league. The exact same number. It's rare enough that happens. It's rarer still that they're first in the league with the same exact number. So even though they were first in both takeaways and giveaways, they finished with a turnover differential of 0 and a 6-6 record. As Lakeman gets swallowed up. First sack he's had to endure. Coverage sack for sure. A couple of Fury were there, including Maurice Lloyd.
Yeah, Maurice Lloyd, the finishing touch on that sack, but Lakeman did a super athletic judo throw to avoid the first sack, and Lloyd just staying hungry, staying in pursuit of Lakeman to take him down. Good work by Lloyd and the rest of that defensive line.
Two middle linebackers in this game started their career as safeties. 3rd and 7. Lakeman, deep shot and intercepted. That one's ripped away by Sean Allen in running room for Allen. Taken down by Benjamin Hornigolds, and another giveaway by Lakeman in his pro debut. That sets Vegas up around midfield.
Yeah, a little bit past it as well. Good field position for the Fury to try to come back and get it back downfield. And the closer this game gets to zeros in this fourth quarter, the way you figure one of these turnovers, one of these big plays, these momentum-based plays are going to really tell the difference between these two teams. I shudder to think how many more we could see before the end of this game as well.
Well, one of the last times these two teams played, it was a quarterback duel. Not really the case so far tonight. Both have had their moments, to be sure, but not really a showcase by the quarterbacks in tonight's matchup. 6 combined interceptions, 2 combined touchdowns. When these two teams met in season 18, two quarterbacks that are no longer involved on these two teams, A.J. Caswell and Joseph Green, combined for 8 touchdowns and 1 interception. So a little bit of a different storyline here tonight.
Just a little.
Just a little bit. 8.5 left in the fourth and a tie ball game. It's Johnson on the delayed handoff, and not much there. It gets about 5. Tackled at the end of the run by Orion Horace.
Big moment here for Queen City. Chance for them again to get themselves off the field and keep it to a long field goal attempt. 3rd and 5. Got to watch out for Mason Kirby here, and then of course that man right there, Doug Britton, at the top of your screen.
2 catches for Britton, but they've gone for a total of 62 yards. 3rd and 5, 3 wides for Price. Feels the heat, shuffles up, throws short of the sticks, passes caught, and then thrown down well short of the sticks by Newton North. We've said it 100 times tonight, Chris. 4 rookies in the secondary for Queen City. There's a rookie on offense for Vegas. Wonder against Newton North, and the defense wins.
In this case, they do. However, Vegas does have a chance here to give themselves the lead, and with the 3-point separation with a 7.5 to go.
So Matt Rage in his 4th total season playing for the team called the Fury. It seems like he was born for this opportunity. Back after some time away with the longest kick of the night so far. No problem. From 45 yards, Rage gives the Fury a 3-point lead.
And that is points off of turnovers, with which Vegas, for as many takeaways as they had a season ago, could have done better in that category. They're able to get 3 here, and ultimately they could have been done better tonight too in that category. But they make it count when they need to. They have a small lead, and now it's Queen City's turn to try to respond.
They finally take advantage of those opportunities. It's such a great point, Chris. I mean, them leading the league in takeaways, first time ever that's happened in franchise history last season, but them being one of the league leaders in takeaways, not a rare sight by any means. This has long been one of the best takeaway teams in the league. When you've got guys like Max Jackson and Merrick Itera and others as staples back there, it's not really a surprise, but they've been top 3 in takeaways in the SFL in 5 of the last 6 seasons. And first in the league in takeaways last season. Again, first time in franchise history they could say that, but still, that hasn't really resulted in any regular season success. They've been 6-6 in each of the last 3 seasons and haven't made the playoffs. Can they get out of it? They have the lead here as they try to break out of that schneid. Jet 0 with the carry. See him there, not a whole lot doing on the ground, Chris. 1 20-yard run. Other than that, 42 yards on 21 carries.
Yeah, not a ton for him, but they need to continue with that just to kind of try to wear down this defensive line. Eventually, Jet 0 will break when he's got the speed to do so. It's just a matter of him being able to break tackles after he gets through that defensive line.
Slow season for him last year. A couple of slow seasons in a row for Zero after he looked like one of the best running backs in the league for 3 seasons straight. It's been slow going for Zero, and Zero for Jet there. He gets tripped up again by Michael Rury. Might have even got him behind the line of scrimmage. It's 3rd down.
And another key 3rd down, this time for the Queen City offense. And you're right, it's a matter of being creative in ways to get Jet Zero the football in successful ways, whether it be the swing pass, the screen pass, which is fine, but it also counts for execution that's needed as well.
Play action to Zero on 3rd down. Lakeman gonna heave it with the step behind. It's Deezer Powell. Breaks away from a tackle. Jackson looking to stop him. He will not. Queen City has the lead again for the 2nd time tonight. The rookie, Lakeman, to the veteran, Deezer Powell.
Big play, Deezer Powell. They hit the home run again. That's 3 different times they've been able to hit for touchdowns over 25 yards for the Queen City offense. This one gives them back the advantage, and Lakeman, feast or famine. It either goes underthrown or it goes right where it needs to be for his receiver, which, I mean, being a young quarterback, you're going to find things like that. That's a matter of development and consistency. He has been on target more than he's been off today, and you find it there.
Chris, we said it, and we mentioned it in passing earlier tonight, but it is usually a rough adjustment period for rookie quarterbacks in this league. This is just game 1 of what John Lakeman hopes to be many games. So we're not putting any finishing chapters in his career storybook by any means, but we saw Gene Struthers in his first career game last night really struggle. We've seen rookie quarterbacks over the last couple of years struggle, even in their first or second seasons. It doesn't matter how good of a QB you are in the minor leagues. It doesn't always come easy for guys in the pros, but so far tonight, like you said it well, Lakeman has done a lot more good than he's done bad. I've been very impressed seeing him in the pros for the first time.
Yeah. He's been very good as far as that, as far as the ebbs and flows of this game have gone. He's been able to handle them, not quite with ease, but he's been able to handle them and move on to the next play with little repercussion.
To be honest with you, maybe I'll get flamed in the chat for saying this as well, but what he's done has kind of reminded me of what O.J. Bruin did at the start of his career with Portland. He's got some big playability, or maybe a better comparison would be Bruin's successor in Portland, Scar Patterson, who had a ton of arm strength, arm talent, as they say, even as a rookie with Portland over the last couple of years, and that's what Lakeman has showed at times tonight.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. Again, it's game 1 of what is hopefully going to be a lot of games in the future for him. So if this is step 1 into his SFL pro career, then it's a positive one at that. Now we'll get to see how he adjusts as defenses start to adjust to him.
Vegas trailing once again. What a game it's been here in week 1. Sometimes you have no idea what to expect, and I'm not sure we expected a game like this. Price waylaid, and he throws that way over 30 yards behind anybody wearing either colored jersey. What is going on tonight?
That particular feat of strength was because of the pressure that was bearing down on him. He just had to heave and hope and get it as far away from a defender as possible there, and hope it didn't go negative for him. In that case, incomplete pass. He'll take it. That was essentially a throwaway.
Not the worst result, no question about it. Clock stops at 5:20. Another 3rd down here for Vegas. Price. No pressure that time, and he completes it. That's what he can do, and he's got all the time in the world. Another 1st down catch for Doug Britton, but he's down at the end of the play. Can this game get any crazier?
Yeah, we've seen a little bit of everything in it. Is Doug Britton down on his back currently? See where this post route takes him and see where the injury may have happened. He just crumbles in a heap. Hit from behind on it, and it was a low hit. Maybe just took the wind out of him. We'll see what it looks like in a couple of plays as we get an update.
That's Ted Haynes on the hit, a guy who's played a lot of different roles in this secondary for Queen City over his career. Ostensibly the number 1 corner again. Has been the number 2 guy for a few seasons now, but he's the one who lays the hit and knocks out Doug Britton. If we have any updates, we'll pass him on. That could be crucial to Vegas' comeback hopes. 5:15 left, clock stops. Johnson with the sidestep, nothing for Scott Johnson. Let's throw it back to Cameron Irvine with a game break.
Thank you, Tim. It's all over in Tulsa. The defense has stepped up for both teams late, but Vancouver gets the last laugh on the road. A 24-21 win thanks to Mark Lopez's interception And Tulsa falls to 0-1. Vancouver 1-0 on the season. Back to you guys in Vegas.
Another stat for the stat sheet stuffer. Price trying to lead a comeback, has 2 receivers on the near side, and it's hauled in by Mason Kirby, who's had a couple of short catches in a row after 3 big catches in a row, and a solid start to his season 20.
Tulsa, going back to that real quick, that was a team that ended up over 500 but missed the playoffs last season in the to try to get it to the postseason tournament. So that was an 0-1. It's a step for them. I wouldn't necessarily say in the wrong direction, taking a team that's supposed to be successful like Vancouver to the limit like that. So good on them, and they'll be back.
Tulsa's been one of the most improved teams, no question, and down goes Price. The Queen City defense continues to ratchet it up. It's Joseph Sobolka combining with the rookie Dan Dash. 4th down and forever for Vegas.
Yeah, more pressure coming from this Queen City defensive line, and clearly Eric Price is not reacting well to the pressure as he lets another drive go away. Their chances are slimming down more and more, and now Queen City has a chance as they get this punt back to potentially take a 2-possession lead.
Here comes McCrack, who was a big piece of Vegas's last scoring drive. More on that in a second. He will pin Queen City at the 12. You don't get assists in this sport, Chris, like you do in hockey or even in volleyball or a sport like that. But the assist on that Scott Johnson touchdown, to me, should go to Dustin McCrack, who pinned Queen City at the 4. It was a quick punt. Vegas was able to score. They need to do the exact same thing, just 8 yards further away from the end zone in this situation.
This game can be a battlefield position, especially in a close battle like this, and clearly Vegas won the battlefield position in that moment, in a free play here.
Another jump offside. We've seen both teams guilty of that. It'll be about the same for Zero, who gets maybe 3 or 4. Osiris made the hits, but we'll see. R62, we always say, everyone's favorite member of the SFL. He's been pretty busy tonight, and an obvious call here.
Yeah, it's super obvious call with the and really you got to accept that and take the repeat first down with the 5 yards to gain. So another jump off side. We've seen a few of those this evening, and some discipline problems on 2 teams that are fairly young in that department.
A.K. Jones guilty of that one. He had a great first quarter. Not much from him since. 6th season in the SFL. Former high pick for this Vegas team. So they'll take the penalty, no surprise. Vegas showing blitz here on 1st and 5. They will run it with Zero, trying to stretch outside, and Vegas was ready for that. You said it, Chris. This run defense for Vegas has been excellent, really all night. Lloyd with that hit.
More of Vegas just trying to make Lakeman beat him, and to Lakeman's credit, he's beat him more than not, and it's putting Lakeman in an obvious passing down. Now the secondary for Vegas needs to be careful. They cannot let the Queen City receivers get behind them in a passing situation.
The worst passing defenses in the league a season ago, testing a rookie quarterback, and so far a passing grade, I think. 2nd down, here's Zero. Runs into the thick of the defense once again, and maybe 1. Osiris and Lloyd are both there for Vegas. 3rd down.
Look for Powell on the right-hand side here. He's burned the Vegas secondary on go routes, also post routes. He could be my target here. Doug Spelling also at the bottom of your screen could be a target if he goes.
Give him a lot of space. Powell at the top, Spelling at the bottom. 3 minutes left in regulation. And John Lakeman in his pro debut will hand off to Jet Zero on 3rd and 5. And the veteran linebacker, Day Drury, who made the All-Star game 2 seasons ago, makes the stop on 3rd down. The 3rd down woes continue for the Corsairs.
I don't like the logic there on that play call. You're in a passing situation. You're not gonna catch the Vegas Fury by surprise on a running call like that with the way their linebackers have played the run, because they're going to easily be able to adjust. You have to throw in that situation and to try to keep the field position and keep the clock moving. And in that case, they did not. I disagree with it.
5 seconds on the play clock, and no rush this time against Greg Morrison, who sends a high-hanging kick. Returnable for Vegas. That is Mason Kirby returning that kick. Had to wait and see, Chris. That means that Britton is not available, at least not right now. Right. How much does that change things for this 2 minutes and 9 seconds?
Well, it puts the pressure on one Mason Kirby for sure, because he becomes the clear number 1 in this receiving offense, and it puts the pressure on the rookie Prince Wonder as well. You may see John Blades get some more reps as well, catching passes out over the middle of the field. This is a big drive for Vegas, one they need points on.
Eric Price in his first game with his new team with a 2-minute drill. Nice dot and a first down and then some. Vegas across the 35 on one play, and we've hit the 2-minute warning. The time is now for Eric Price and for Vegas to get on the right foot to start Season 20. 2 minutes left in regulation. This is the SFL Season 20 kickoff presented by APM Music live on YouTube. It was Kirby on that catch, his 5th of the evening, alongside Chris Curtis, Justin Reside, and Ron Haynes in the stat truck. Tim Hackett here with you from Silver State Stadium. 2 minutes left. Vegas down by 4. From the 33, deep drop for Eric Price in his first game playing for his old rivals and nearly threw the game away. Todd Rigsby had the first takeaway of 4 for Queen City tonight. Nearly had the last.
Yeah, that one, an underthrown ball by Price. He's got his receiver if he puts a little more loft on that and gets his. I didn't see who that was in the back or in the front of the end zone there, but a very good opportunity gone by for Eric Price. Now it's second down.
Doug Britton injured earlier in this corner on a hit by Ted Haynes after making a catch for a first down, so he's not available. Price steps up and then gets plastered. Another sack by this Corsair defense. They are teeing off on this young Vegas offensive line, and the rookie Dan Dash has another hit on Price.
If the Corsairs continue to do that over the season, they continue to have their defensive line play well and get pressure on any quarterback, then their defense has a chance to overachieve, I think, this particular season. So I like what I see from them so far. And is it a prelude or is it a flash in the pan? We will find out.
2 rookie defensive ends. They've both made plays tonight. 3rd and 13. Play action for Price. Feels the rush. Throws to the sideline and inbounds, they say. What a catch. Welcome to the SFL, Prince Wonder. Rookie first-round pick, 10th overall, has his 4th catch of the night. That gives the Fury a chance.
I did not like that call. I think his toes may have been on the white when he made that catch. Interesting decision here, whether or not the booth is going to take a look at this or we'll look at the snap-off.
Can they get it off in time? Remember, under 2 minutes, so yeah, it would be a booth review. They will snap it. They will throw it. It's Hubba Kimbrell. Easy first down for Vegas. There was nobody covering him out of the back, and the former Queen City Corsair has a first down in crunch time.
And Vegas would do well to try to burn some clock here. They're going to have a couple of shots at the end zone before we get down to zeros, but with that one going out of bounds, minute 42 left. If they were to score, say, on this play, it would give the Corsairs a solid 90 seconds to be able to make something happen. Reminder that the Corsairs have all 3 timeouts.
Vegas only has 2. Had to use one after that sack 2 plays ago. They convert on 3rd and 13 in 2 plays. Kimbrell gets them to the 17. Right, got to worry about the clock here, but got to worry about scoring first. Price throws it short on a shallow cross that is caught by Jackson Roberts. Makes his first catch of the season.
Good work, 2nd and 4. Now the clock continues to go. That's what I mean. Burn some clock, get to a point where it's basically you taking shots at the end zone and leave as little time on the clock as possible for Queen City.
New tight end duo of Blades and Roberts have combined for 3 catches for 20 yards. Gain of 6 for Roberts. Pump fake for Price. End zone dropped and incomplete. Had a man right there, Chris. It was Marion Cobretti who's been thrust into a starring role because of the injury to Britton, and he could not haul in what would have been a go-ahead score.
Turns into the number 3 receiver, and it looked like a number 4 receiver on that. A huge drop that could spell the meaning of this game, depending on how this 3rd down goes.
We've seen Vegas go down the depth chart. There's a target for Cabretti. Dennis Charney's had a target as well in this game. It has not gone well. 3rd down and 4 from the 11. They'll run it. Kimbrell gets to the 10 and no further. Kappa Jones, the veteran, with the hits.
Interesting call to run it on 3rd down, but that could be just a matter of them, again, trying to burn some clock. So now that we have a 4th down, this could potentially be your ball game. They got to get it to the 8-yard line for a first down.
Under a minute to go, 8 yards 8-yard line is a first down, 10 yards from a touchdown, and they run it to Kimbrell, and the Queen City defense makes the stand. Kappa Jones, in his second tour of duty with the Corsairs, lays the lumber on the former Corsair, Hubba Kimbrell, and a turnover on downs inside the final minutes.
Oh, I do not understand that call at all. How do you run it in that situation? Fourth down, you need more than a yard. There's no reason to try to run it there and potentially put the game on the line with your number 2 running back that has not had a run over 6 yards the entire game. I don't like that call at all, and I think it could very well be the reason why the Fury lose this game.
Vegas can only stop the clock one more time. They will be able to get the ball back with maybe a couple of seconds left if everything works out the way we expect, but I mean, that's the play of the game, Chris. You bring in a new quarterback. You've got one of the best passing offenses from a season ago, albeit one that looks a lot different right now than it did in Vegas's last game a couple of months ago with Britton injured and Blades at tight end. I don't care. That's meant to be the strength of your team. And if you're going to run it, you run it with Hubba Kimbrell, a former tight end who had 2 career carries before tonight's. It's just questionable to say the very least.
Oh, and that you look at that drop that Cabretti had as well, the backup wide receiver that really did spell the end of it. It caused the fourth down in general. Well, I don't agree with the play call on fourth down. That's still a ball that needs to be caught in just about every circumstance.
No question. That pass is caught. We're not even having this conversation. Lakeman will throw.
Oh!
It's intercepted on third down and back the other way. Vegas will score. That could have ended it, but now Vegas has the lead. Justin Reside puts the Fury in front.
Wow. Poor clock management from Queen City caused them to have to throw it on third down, and all of a sudden it's a pick 6 the other way, the second one for Vegas today.
John Lakeman has thrown 3 touchdowns in his pro debut, but now he's thrown 2 touchdowns to Vegas in his pro debut. On third and long, looking for the acquisition, Tony Zilma, instead finding Justin Reside, who did not score a touchdown last season for Vegas, scores one here with 38 seconds left. Unbelievable.
How do you get to that point is the question. They had one timeout. They had stopped the clock one time. All that took was kneeling the ball and burning clock, and they did not do that nearly effectively enough, and it caused them to have to throw for a first down. Why are you snapping the ball that quickly in that situation?
To your point, Vegas is out of timeouts. They just run it. Run it with Bovine. Even if you don't get the first down, it's going to be 4th and 4, and then you punt it from there, and Vegas has the ball with 3 seconds left if all goes perfectly for them. That's all you needed to do. You could even kneel it with your rookie if you wanted and give Vegas the ball at the 50-yard line and have to have Price throw a Hail Mary. But they don't do that. A questionable choice after a questionable call from John Bond, the head coach for Vegas, an even more questionable decision for Tom Welsh on the other side, and that costs John Lakeman what was a great game in his debut. He now has to shoulder this burden and lead a comeback in the final 34 seconds against Las Vegas.
They
3 to the bottom.
3 timeouts.
They do indeed. 0 alone in the backfield. They will throw it to him, and 0 is hit at the line by Merrick Itera, 4-time All-Star in his 11th season in the SFL. Haven't talked about him very much because he's been matched up against Doug Spelling, and Spelling has won the battle more often than not, but Itera with a big hit at a big time. Nothing doing for 0. He's under 100 total yards of offense. What can John Lakeman gin up in his SFL debut? Do they go back to Deezer Powell? That's been the money shot for him. Instead, they will throw it out to 0 again, and he's hit in bounds by Itera and Day Drury. Doug Britton, man, oh man, done for the night. If you're new to the SFL and you're a Vegas fan already, not a bad choice, but don't worry, he will be back next week. Magic of this league, but he is done for the night. May not matter. Vegas still able to take the lead even without him, thanks to Justin Reside.
Got to go downfield here. Don't have a choice.
5 yards and 2 timeouts on 2 plays for Queen City. From the 28, they'll play action it. Lakeman will go deep into traffic, swatted away, middle blocker style. Nice play by Max Jackson, and now it's 4th down.
Okay, so you have 2 timeouts. I mean, even if you get the first down here, you don't have to go for the home run just yet. You at least can get the first down and then stop the clock, and you'll still have 1 timeout to go. You just need to be creative with some sideline plays to get it downfield. This could be the ball game, though. Vegas gets a stop here, and it's game over.
Suddenly, Vegas in pole position. And John Lakeman, who's thrown 3 touchdowns in his pro debut, needs to throw for at least 5 to keep this game alive. He'll throw it near side. Pass is caught, but out of bounds is Adrian Ellis, and Vegas will get the ball back. 1 kneel down from a win in the season opener.
Yeah, nothing doing there, and just not sure if it's just foot placement or just placement of the football. But this is... I mean, you can call it week 1, I guess. You can call it clock management issues in week 1, trying to get back into the thick of things. So, but that clearly cost Queen City a win in as far as clock management issues are concerned. So this should be a victory formation, and it is for the Vegas Fury.
Oh, I lied. It won't be just 1 kneel down. We assume Queen City will take some timeouts, but for all intents and purposes, assuming Vegas can take care of it here, Queen City will use its last timeout. Now 1 more kneel down, and it's curtains for the Fury in their season opener. Chris, I say this all the time. We see things in the SFL you've never seen before every week, which is part of the reason that this league is so awesome. I feel like I have seen this before in this league. It looks like a team's going to win. They choose to throw it on 3rd or maybe 4th down in the final minute, 2 minutes, whatever. The other team either returns it for a touchdown or sets them up for a touchdown on a play on the next offensive drive for the win. I feel like I've seen it before. Let's see if Cameron Irvine can help jog my memory, or Eddie Gage or one of the other league veterans can help me decide. It's not the first time we've seen something like this happen. And for Vegas, they will spike it. Oh my goodness, we're not done yet, Chris. They spiked it on 3rd down and stopped the clock.
What? Okay.
They kneeled it on 2nd down. The clock was running. They ran back up to the line and spiked it. To set up Rage for a field goal.
All right. So now
Even if he makes this game isn't over. But imagine if this kick gets blocked. Matt Rage looking to add some more to this lead. Another long kick. He's got it from 48. So Matt Rage has made 3 kicks for the Fury tonight. That extends the lead to 6. But with 6 seconds left, all that does is give Queen City a passing chance at a miracle win.
I mean, it is a passing chance. But I mean, my eyebrows have been pointed at the apex of my forehead for the last probably 5 full minutes, trying to figure out what is happening with the end of this game. Both teams seem to be in a little bit of different straits, but now Queen City, again, you said it, with a chance to make some SFL Week 1 miracles happen.
Tony Zoma in his first game with Queen City will return it from his end zone, gets hit at the 19, and they say there's a second left. Of course there is. This game will not end on that. John Lakeman will have the ball in his hands one more time, 81 yards away from a miracle for Queen City.
Now what are they going to?
I have no idea. Remember, they've got their full complements. Matthew, Powell, and Spelling, and others, all available for Lakeman, who played just 8 games in the minor leagues, now in the professional ranks for the first time in his career. What else does this game have in store? They're going to wait and try to get Vegas to jump. They will not. Lakeman barely drops. He will loft it down the left seam. It's caught by Adrian Ellis, and that is how the game ends. A crazy finish to an awesome game. Lakeman solid in his debut, but it's spoiled by Justin Reside's pick 6 in the final minutes, and Vegas comes from behind to go to 1-0 in season 20.
And the biggest thing to take away from that is the turnovers and the points off of such. Queen City was not able to take advantage of the turnovers that Vegas gave them during this football game, whereas Vegas on the other side ended up with 17 points at least off of those turnovers, and that is really your biggest difference. 2 pick sixes are going to seal it most of the time, and they do it here regardless of any of the clock management issues at the very end. You really have to point towards that and say that the points off turnovers were the difference.
Vegas loses the turnover battle. 4 interceptions for Price against 3 for Lakeman, but 14 points directly off turnovers on 2 pick sixes for the Vegas defense. And a great point, Chris. That's the biggest difference. Price had nothing going. Threw those 4 picks, 2 to Greg Gaines, who had a tremendous game. But then Vegas able to rally, and this masterful takeaway team, top 3 in the league in takeaways in 5 of the last 6 seasons. 3 snags for him today, 2 for touchdowns. Just a ridiculous defensive performance.
100% agree. 100% agree. The really good performance by a lot of the youngsters actually in this game. There was a lot of really big kudos to go around, and you got to take a look at the Queen City secondary that played. They played well up until the point where they didn't. They had defenders get behind them, or actually Vegas, I should say, had defenders get behind, receivers get behind them on a pretty regular basis, and it caused some major issues for Vegas to try to overcome. But they did just that with some defensive plays of their own. So a lot of love for Vegas getting the week 1 win. They start out 1-0, and Queen City, this young team, has to relearn how to win. Yes, they have 4 titles in their team history, but in what many would argue is a full rebuild for them, they have to relearn how to gain that culture.
And to your point, this is honestly, look, no slight intended, this is kind of a deceptive result for Vegas. They get the win, they're 1-0. Maybe that sparks a better season for them after 3 straight seasons of 6-6. But they scored 1 touchdown on offense, and that was a toss out to Scott Johnson after Dustin McRack pinned Queen City at the 4. The other 2 scores came from their defense, and Matt Rage hit 3 field goals. So in reality, the offense was not electric tonight, and that's been the strength for Vegas over the last couple of seasons, especially the passing game. They've got a lot to clean up.
They do indeed. And Scott Johnson gets the player of the game, but I don't know if there was a ton of options for the Vegas offense to give the player of the game to.
Justin Reside makes the biggest play of the game with his first pick 6 of the season, the second of the night for the Fury, who move to 1-0. Queen City, back-to-back losing seasons, are 0-1. It's been a pleasure, Chris Curtis. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. Season 20 of the SFL is off to a roaring start. For everybody in the stats booth and Cameron Irvine working hard behind the scenes, and Chris Curtis, I've been Tim Hackett. We'll see you next time. Until then, so long. 4 more SFL games coming your way right here tomorrow.